Angry guy here. And men are realizing that walking away just makes more sense. It really, really does, doesn't it? It does. All right, so walking away, men are realizing that walking away just makes more sense. That's the subject we're discussing today. We actually have a video that we're going to jump right into. This is actually a video from Andrew Tate, and it basically illustrates the reason why it's so important that more men wake up and realize that it's just not worth the hustle and the bustle today. It's not worth the fight. It's not worth it. It's not even worth arguing with other men. Forget about arguing with women. It is literally not even worth arguing with other men. And it is much more realistic just to walk away. Let's go ahead and jump right into the video.
This internet generation is fucked. I think anybody with a brain understands that, but I don't think most people understand exactly how fucked it is because they live in this digital false reality. They're completely inside the matrix, forgetting that there's a real world out here. The world I grew up in, I was very respectful to everybody I ever spoke to. And the reason I was respectful is because I didn't want to fight. Not because I was scared I would lose. Certainly there'd be some fights harder than others. But also, I just didn't want to have to fight all the time. It's exactly my luck. I'm the kind of guy who gets in an argument with some guy. We end up having to have a fight. I hit him and he dies. That's how he'd get me back. Not because he can't beat me. Of course, nobody can beat me. But he'd get me back by dying. But bro, I only hit you once. Wake up. No, he's dead. Murder charge. Fucking hell. All because we argued over some dumb shit. So I try my best not to fight anybody. Because I understand how easy it is to kill someone. It is not hard to catch someone with a good shot and then die. It really isn't. And most people cannot fight at all. So I try my very best to go through life peacefully. I don't want to catch a murder charge. I don't want to have to fight all the time, which is why when I talk to people, I try to be respectful. I understand that if you disrespect people in the real world, there's a chance it becomes violent. But these kids on the internet don't understand that at all. Every time I dip my toe into the cesspit, which is
Shout out to Senator Paul for a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it.
the generation below mine, I realize they're a bunch of disrespectful, arrogant idiots constantly running their mouths on the internet. And none of them have any genuine real world experience of anything.
Holy generation below mine. Oh gosh. Yo, Andrew Tate. And then Paul, I know you're a Gen Z. I believe you said you're a Gen Zer. Respect to you, but oh gosh. So even Andrew Tate now, Andrew Tate hates Gen Z. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Andrew Tate hates Gen Z. I told you. I mean, this is basically a Gen X. This is a Gen X older millennial channel. And this just like literally goes to show like the world hates Gen Z. Oh my fucking gosh.
Clowns. I recently did a stream with Aiden Ross.
You not know who the man is.
The favorite tell yourself. You.
Pudgy Aiden. And he brought on some kid who I had never heard of. Like, I don't know who these people are. I'm the most famous man on the internet. And people often say, hey, Tate, what do you think of this streamer? You think I watch streamers? You think I don't watch any of the people who make hit pieces on me. I have no idea who these conservatives having a breakdown are. I have no idea who these.
Zeta Paul says I'm 58. Oh, I'm sorry about that, bro. I literally got them confused. You are Gen. You might be Gen X actually. Gotta like do that numbering. You guys, 1965 through 1965 through 1981. I mean, really, it really should be 83. But so I mean, yeah, I think you would be a Gen. Think you'd be actually a Gen Xer. Shout out to Gen X. Shout out to Gen X.
Liberals having a breakdown are. And I have no idea who's on Twitch. I don't know these people, and I couldn't give less of a fuck. Recently just did a Candace interview. She's like, Liz Wheeler. Who? Now we're talking about Neon. Who are these people? So I did this thing. I'm on with Pudgy Aiden. Neon comes on. Starts running his mouth at me. Hey, fuck you, bitch. Hey, fuck you, dude. Dude is like 75 pounds dripping wet. I could pick him up by his neck with one hand. He knows it, I know it, but it's the internet. So he's just running his mouth.
But they won't cut yours off. They can't mess with you. You got a SpongeBob t-shirt on and an inhaler. They're scared of you, G. Don't worry about that. You just turn up and you tell them who's boss. You tell them. That's right. You tell them. You say you're a streamer and you play video games all day. You let them know who the man is. You let them know who the man is.
Favorite, tell yourself. You dumb bitch. Put her in house arrest, you pussy. You fucking loser. You and your dirty ass fat brother. Fuck him too. Dumb bitch. Look at you just sitting there, you bald refugee. Fuck you.
All right, hold on.
I don't know why you're laughing. You
All right. Everyone, calm it down a notch. Listen,
I'm calm. I'm just saying that he has nothing to worry about. I'm trying to give you self-esteem, bro. I'm saying you have nothing to worry about. You're a tough guy. Go over there and tell him who's boss.
I got a better deal. On my life, me and Neon versus you in the ring. I swear to God, me and him are knocking you the fuck out.
We will fucking kill you, bro.
Oh my God, this is the biggest waste of my time.
And I grew up in a world where you don't disrespect people you couldn't fight. Even on the internet, I wouldn't do it because I'd feel bad in my heart. I wouldn't disrespect.
I'm gonna tell you all something very quickly, and some of y'all will remember this. There were like a number of years ago, two guys got into an argument over a video game, over like an MMO, and this guy kept on pissing off this other guy over an MMO. So the other guy found out where he lived, and he went and he got him, and he basically unalived him, and he said, "Now you can't do this shit anymore," and he went to jail, and he was happy. Well, correction, prison. I mean, back in my day, back in the early days of the internet, you know, we didn't have this level of keyboard warrior crap. I mean, people were still even more mindful back then. This new generation, they just run their mouths. They just run their mouths and they don't realize that this is a real world. And if you run into someone that you've been mouthing off to in the real world, you know, that could be the end of you. Like, you know, Gen Z is one of the worst. It's the worst generation in modern history, and one of the worst generations in the history of the world. I saw a preview a little while ago for Gen V, which is basically a new show coming out on Netflix, which takes place in the Boys universe. If you heard of the Boys, it's basically like it's a superhero show that's kind of set in a dystopic reality, and they have a show called Gen V coming out set in that universe. And it's kind of like they're going to it's like a school for gifted mutants and so gifted superheroes in that universe. But instead of like the X-Men, it's like a twisted version of the X-Men. And they have a character in there, for example. These are like all Gen Zers and they're all twisted. And there's like a character in there who can like basically change their genders. Like that's their superpower. One moment they're a boy and the other moment they're a girl. And that kind of sums up Gen Z. Like Gen Z just can't live in reality. You know, Gen Z cannot live within any reality. They are the worst generation of people to ever walk the face of the planet, I personally think. I mean, again, I haven't met all the other generations, but I've known some pretty terrible generations. The boomers were the absolute worst, in my opinion, until Gen Z came along, and I never thought it could get any worse than the boomers. Oh, God, was I wrong? And I'm pretty sure at this point that, you know, Gen Alpha, after what they've passed through in 2020 and the last couple of years, those of them that survive and make it into adulthood, you know, after taking the jab, I'm almost convinced that they're going to give Charles Manson, you know, a run for his money. I just really have a strong inclination that that's going to be a reality. But, you know, hey,
a man on the internet, unless I was prepared to see him in real life and beat the shit out of him. If I disrespect you on the internet, if I see you, it's on sight. Fuck you. Old fashioned. Then, it's been about a week has passed. A video has now appeared of him getting bullied. That has nothing to do with me. I guess he just runs his mouth too much to too many people.
Hey, look whose shoes we got. Got his ass lacking. Come on, bro. Got his ass lacking. Hey, what size y'all want?
Hey, you see what we did with his shirt?
Look at his shirt. Ripped all type of stuff, boy. You know not to come around here talking like that. Yeah.
Hey, flick me up.
Hey.
Oh. This ain't bullying. Let's be real clear. This ain't bullying. He went around there running his mouth. He went around there running his mouth. This is correction. This is correction. All right. They corrected him. All right. This is a correction. All right. This isn't bullying. He went around there running his mouth. Okay. He went looking for trouble and he got it. All right. They correct. And listen to me. All they did was take his shoes and rip his shirt. Okay. He's lucky. He's lucky. Okay. Because back in my day, you were going to, they were, EMS was coming to get you. The paramedics were coming to get you. It was going to be woo, 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 woo. You were going to the hospital. Doctor was going to talk about how did you get that black eye. You're going to need stitches. You were going to have to miss a couple of days of school. When you went back to school, everyone's going to laugh at you. It's like, damn, man, look at you. You got messed up real bad. Seriously. No, like shit. Look at this comment right here. I like this comment right here. This is exactly it. Like, Cheese Socks Fan for Life says it. He effed around and found out. This is not bullying. And the title is like he got bullied. Like he got bullied. He didn't get bullied. Andrew's not right about this. He did not get bullied. This is not bullying. He effed around and found out. This dude rolled up in the hood. This little guys, I told y'all something is wrong with Jeff. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? You have guys who are 6'7", 350 pounds. All right, that lift half a ton, and they are not going to the hood and running their mouth in the hood. Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? And this dude went to the hood and thought he was going to run his mouth in the hood and have his way. All these dudes did was teach him a lesson. All right? Guys, if I went over there and this is the worst that happened to me, I would be grateful. All they did was rip my shirt and take my shoes after I ran my mouth in the hood. Are you crazy? You've got to be kidding me. Nobody from my generations. No. That's why I always compliment Gen X. I said Gen X, they were that cool. They were basically that cool older brother that came home from work, went down to their basement, smoked their pot, and didn't mess with anyone. All right, they were always cool. You could always go and talk to them about life. They would always listen and give you feedback. All right, good guy Gen Z, good guy Gen Z's terrible. Good guy Gen X, didn't fuck with anyone. All right, they were that cool older brother that came home from work, went down to the basement, smoked their pot. You could always talk to them about life. You could always just go and hang out with them, talk with them about life. They had the long hair. They were just so chill. All right, and they didn't fuck with anyone. Good guy Gen X. All right. Leave Gen X alone. Gen X didn't fuck with anyone. I'm just being so honest about that. This guy threatens Andrew, threatens Tristan, and then he threatens Andrew, threatens Tristan, and then takes to the streets. What are we even watching? What are we even looking at, man? He threatened the most famous man on the internet and his brother. Two guys that literally survived a Romanian prison. Okay? Literally survived a Romanian prison. Okay? He threatened them. And him and Aiden Ross said that he basically said that they could take Andrew in a fight. These guys are crazy. And after he did this, he somehow thought that he came out on top and then took to the streets and had to get corrected. All right? These street dudes had to correct him, and they were really this is really community service. They're doing what his father should have done and let him know he was going to have his way out. Bro, this ain't bullying. Look at this comment right here. Dalek 2150. Kyle Rittenhouse had to battle for his life. Yeah. Bro. I don't know if y'all saw that video. Kyle Rittenhouse I saw that. This kid had to battle for his life. It was like the zombie apocalypse out there. All right. And this crazy man right here took to the streets and thought he was going to have his way. Oh my gosh. I keep telling y'all something is wrong with Gen Z, and people don't want to listen. When I say something is wrong with Gen Z, something is wrong with Gen Z. Oh gosh. Like I said, Chiak said it right. He effed around and found out. That's exactly what happened. This was not this was not bullying. This man is out of his damn mind. Out of his damn mind.
We on his ass. Come on, bro. Take his glasses off.
How much he's gonna sell for?
How much they gonna sell for? Come on, bro. YouTube money. We taking all of that. Hey, and we keeping your phone, boy. We taking the video right on your phone.
You a bitch, right? I'm not playing with you.
I'm a bitch.
Yeah, you a fucking bitch. Come on, bro.
So he's gone from the digital world running his mouth like a tough guy to the real world.
They even gave him
fight. No,
They even gave him his glasses back, man. They even gave him his. They took the glasses. They're like, "How much you gonna sell for?" And they're like, and then the man gave him his glasses back out of sympathy, out of sympathy. All right, come, guys. They weren't trying to bully him. They were trying to correct his bad behavior. All right, they're trying to discipline this man. All right, I think it's like I want to say maybe they saved his life because this is not thugging. This is not thugging. This ain't thugging. Y'all remember Gen X? Y'all remember thugging back in the day? You go into the hood and you try this nonsense, and you would find out what real thug life was. Nah, they gave him his glasses back. Come on.
because I was scared I would lose. Certainly there'd be some fights harder than others, but also I just didn't want to have to fight all the time. It's exactly my luck. I'm the kind of guy who gets in an argument with some guy. We end up having to have a fight. I hit him and he dies. That's how he'd get me back. Not because he can't beat me. Of course, nobody can beat me. But he'd get me back by dying. I try my very best to go through life peacefully. I don't want to catch a murder charge. I don't want to have to fight all the time, which is why when I talk to people, I try to be respectful. I understand that if you disrespect people in the real world, there's a chance it becomes violent. But these kids on the internet don't understand that at all. Every time I dip my toe into the cesspit, which is the generation below mine, I realize they're a bunch of disrespectful, arrogant idiots constantly running their mouths on the internet. And none of them have any genuine real-world experience of anything. Clowns. I recently did a stream with Aiden Ross.
You not know who the man is.
The favorite, tell yourself. Fuck you.
Pudgy Aiden.
Zenapal, I backed up a little bit, but Zenapal says, what years are Gen Z again? So Gen Z, the years of Gen Z are 1997 through 2012. But you have, people who are like born in 1996, they're basically on the cusp, so that's but yeah, 1997 to 2012 are Gen Z years, but realistically, a generation should be actually 18 years when people reach adulthood. Not so. I mean, it's kind of strange because the boomers were actually an 18-year generation.
And he brought on some kid who I had never heard of. Like, I don't know who these people are. I'm the most famous man on the internet, and people often say, hey, Tate, what do you think of this streamer? You think I watch streamers? You think I don't watch any of the people who make hit pieces on me. I have no idea who these conservatives having a breakdown are. I have no idea who these liberals having a breakdown are. I have no idea who's on Twitch. I don't know these people, and I couldn't give less of a fuck. Recently just did a Candace interview. She's like, Liz Wheeler. Who? Now we're talking about Neon. Who are these people? So I did this thing. I'm on with Pudgy Aiden. Neon comes on. Starts running his mouth at me. Hey, fuck you, bitch. Hey, fuck you, dude. Dude is like 75 pounds dripping wet. I could pick him up by his neck with one hand. He knows it. I know it. But it's the internet. So he's just running his mouth.
They won't cut yours off. They can't mess with you. You got a SpongeBob t-shirt on and an inhaler. They're scared of you, G. Don't worry about that. You just turn up and you tell them who's boss. You tell them. That's right. You tell them. You say you're a streamer and you play video games all day. You let them know who the man is. You let them know who the man is.
The favorite tell yourself. Fuck you dumb bitch. Put her in house arrest, you pussy. You fucking loser. You and your dirty ass fat brother. Fuck him too, dumb bitch. Look at you just sitting there, you bald refugee. Fuck you.
All right, hold on.
I don't know why you're laughing. You
All
fucking
right.
You're on house arrest, and you and your brother too. Like, I mean, like this, like something's wrong with Gen Z. Like something's wrong. Like I feel like Gen Z is like the kind of generation that Charles Manson would have a heart-to-heart talk with. Like, listen, son, you guys need to really ship up or shape out. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm pretty fucked up, but I've never met anyone as fucked up as you guys. I feel like this is like the generation that Charles Manson would literally have a heart-to-heart talk with, because he would run into them and say, "No, you guys are we need to have a conversation. We need to have a little chat, because you can't be out here doing this kind of stuff." I'm so serious. Like, this generation is so messed up. These guys are absolutely insane. Dalek says, "Is that a Minion shirt? What a pencil neck geek." I think it's a SpongeBob shirt. I think it's a SpongeBob shirt. These guys are crazy.
All right. Everyone, calm it down a notch. Listen,
I'm calm. I'm just saying that
No,
he has
you're
nothing to worry
talking, bro.
about. I'm trying to give you
You're weird.
self-esteem, bro. I'm saying you have nothing to worry about. You're a tough guy. Go over there and tell him
I'll
who's
tell you what,
boss.
look, I got a better deal. On my life, me and Neon versus you in the ring, I swear to God, me and him are knocking you the fuck out.
We will fucking kill you, bro.
Oh my God, this is the biggest waste of my time.
And I grew up in a world where you don't disrespect people you couldn't fight. Even on the internet, I wouldn't do it because I'd feel bad in my heart. I wouldn't disrespect a man on the internet unless I was prepared to see him in real life and beat the shit out of him. If I disrespect you on the internet, if I see you, it's on sight. Fuck you. Old fashioned. Then, it's been about a week has passed. A video has now appeared of him getting bullied. That has nothing to do with me. I guess he just runs his mouth too much to too many people.
Hey,
It's not bullying. This is not bullying. Pay attention. Listen to what this black guy says.
look whose shoes we got. Got his ass lacking. Come on, bro. Got his ass lacking. Hey, what size y'all want?
You see what we did with his shirt?
Look at his
See what we
shirt.
did with his shirt?
Ripped all type of stuff, boy. You know not to come around here talking like that.
You hard, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, flick me up, flick me
Hey,
up.
hey. Oh, we on his ass. Come on, bro. Take his glasses off.
How much these gonna sell for?
How much they gonna sell for? Come on, bro.
YouTube
money. We taking all of that. Hey, and we keeping your phone, boy. We taking the video right on your phone.
You a bitch, right? I'm not playing with you.
I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch.
Yeah, you a
He's getting what he deserves right there. He went around to the hood thinking he's gonna have his way, and they corrected him and they even gave him his glasses back. All right. I told y'all, if this was like, they were not even trying to hurt this man. They were trying to correct him. They tried. Someone said that those are his big brothers. Zenopal says they were his big brothers. It's true. They were his big brothers. That's real talk. That's real talk. They were his big brothers. They will let him listen. Listen, little brother, you can't be around here doing this nonsense. You can't be around here out in the streets doing this type of nonsense. All right, there are consequences. All right. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. This kid, and he still looks like he really still looks like he's trying to play hard. All right, this man has something is wrong with Gen Z. I told y'all, this group of people. I don't know what is wrong. These people, entitled, crazy, and they doing it all for the grab. Get out of here.
bitch. Come on, bro.
So he's gone from the digital world running his mouth like a tough guy to the real world. And you can see the video of what happens when he encounters the realities of the masculine essence outside of the matrix. Because the reality of the masculine experience is you need to be capable of violence. You need to be capable of violence, otherwise people are going to pick on you. It has to be mutually assured destruction. They have to look at you and go, you know what? I might lose. It's not worth the risk. Or there's three of us, there's one of him, but one of us is going to lose. And I don't want to be that guy. They have to have that degree of fear. Otherwise, you just get picked on and bullied. Especially if you've got a big fucking mouth, like Neon. What's that even mean? I want this to be a lesson to all the internet kids. Because there's another guy I did a stream with. In fact, it's Aiden, Pudgy Aiden, who introduces me to all of these people. I don't know who any of these people are. I did one with XQC ages ago, and he was going, run his mouth as well. If you can't fight, which none of you can, learn to be respectful to people. Because karma is real, what goes around comes around, and God is not going to allow you to sit and run your mouth and disrespect people forever until someone checks you. That's how the world works. You can call it karma, you can call it God, you can call it live by the sword, die by the sword. There's a whole bunch of different sayings which basically mean the same thing. You need to be able to practice what you preach.
I love this comment by Delect2150. He says, "This ain't no Fortnite, kid."
You can't have a bark without a bite. So you have two choices. You either go and develop a bite, and you get to have a bark, like me, or shut up. Now, what happened to Neon, saw on the internet, does not surprise me at all. Does he deserve it? Probably. But it still made me a bit sad to see, because I don't like bullying. I don't like bullying at all, and I know that someone like him is going to be genuinely traumatically affected by it. And he's going to be bullied for it, not just to...
That wasn't bullying. That wasn't bullying. Listen to me. If you go around certain people and you are respectful to most people, all right, listen to me. I'm respectful to people that are much younger than me. I'm almost 40 years old. I'll be respectful to a 21-year-old police officer. I'll be respectful to if I'm in a bad neighborhood and I'm around a bunch of thugs, I'll say, yeah, excuse me, sir. I'll be completely respectful. I will show downright respect to I'll show respect to a homeless man. I will show respect to a crackhead. I will show respect to a crackhead. As long as you don't mess with me, I will show respect to even a crackhead. I'm being so honest. And I'll tell you something. I used to get, I used to literally have the system if I ever got pulled over by the cops and got a ticket. And I'll tell you how I literally studied how to get out of traffic tickets, how to never have to pay for a traffic ticket. And this is the trick. You get pulled over. And this is what happened to me multiple times. Get pulled over for speeding. And the police officer pulls you over. And what you do is you act like the nicest. Yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you. So you be the most polite person they've ever met. Yes, sir. No, sir. Just be completely respectful. I did this once. A state trooper pulled me over. He pulled me over. Do you know how fast you were going? I don't know, sir. Could what's the speed limit, sir? The speed limit is so and so. I was going the speed limit, sir. And then he starts going on and on. Okay, yeah, well, I understand, sir. Sign this ticket. Okay, yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. Okay? And he's like, slow down. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. And God bless you, sir. Dude gives me the nastiest look. Gives me a dirty look and pulls off. I go to court. He never even shows up. You see, police officers, they're used to assholes. They're used to the nasty people. So those are the people that they remember. They remember the jerks. The people that they forget are the people who are nice. And if they remember you as a nice person, then they're probably going to say, yeah, I don't even want to be bothered with him. Let him just go. I'm being so honest with you. I have gotten out of so many traffic tickets. I've literally had multiple situations where the cop never showed up just because I was so nice and so respectful and so well behaved. All right. And of course, I'm not going to incriminate myself, but I'm going to be completely respectful. If a cop is going to arrest me, oh, yes, sir, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and exercise my right to remain silent, sir. But I will comply fully, entirely with your arrest, sir. Literally like that. I've never been arrested before, but that's how I'll handle things. I'm not going to fight a cop if he wants to arrest me. Let's get this done as quickly as possible. Let's go ahead and let's get me over to the jail as quickly as possible so I can go for the judge as quickly as possible. I'm just being real, you know? Oh, sir, I am completely compliant, but I am exercising my right to remain silent until I have my attorney present. See, when you do that, it completely flips the script. A lot of young people don't understand the power of polite. The power of polite. It's an amazing thing. The only time that you should ever go to the point where you need to defend yourself is if you have to defend yourself. Don't go around there cause starting needless fights. If someone wants to be a bully, let them be a bully and walk away. Let them talk their nonsense and walk away. All right? But if they when they challenge you, when they're going to physically physically put their hands on you, now that's when you can respond. And you respond with the fist of God. Like you throw the fist of God on them at that point because you've tried everything else. All right? You've tried being respectful, you tried walking away, you've done everything you possibly can. And then now they're going to take it to that step, to that next level. So what and if you have witnesses, they're going to say, "Okay, yeah, this person, they did everything they possibly could." And this person, the other guy, was clearly the aggressor. This world is psychology. This world is absolutely psychology. This kid's a moron. Kid's a moron, and he probably doesn't have a good father in his life. Because if he had a good father in his life, he wouldn't be out there running his mouth, acting like he's this big, bad, tough guy. And now he has to get corrected by the streets. His big brothers on the streets have to correct him.
This is what happened, but they're never going to let him forget it, ever. And I feel bad for the kid. So I'm actually extending an olive branch to Neon. If you want to talk about it, if you want to fly here, if you want to learn to train, if you want me to tell you how to deal with this, if you want me to tell you the best way you can bounce back from this and become the best version of yourself, Top G will help you. The man who you called names, the man who you called a bitch and told me you fucked me up and all this garbage, I will actually help you feel better about the situation because I know that you're probably very afraid right now.
Oh my god! Oh gosh! Oh! I help you train because I know you're afraid right now. He got disciplined by the streets. He got disciplined by the streets. Oh, guys, they say laughter is the best medicine. Oh gosh, Zenapol dropped a comment saying Chuck Norris said the best defense is not to offend. It was a deodorant commercial, but still, guys, this is the truth. The best defense is not to offend. Stop going around. Don't go around life, creating fires and then have to constantly be out there putting them out. All right? Just being respectful and walking away from idiots can take you so far in this world.
And I know that also everyone's mocking you on the internet and you probably don't feel very good about yourself. And the last thing we need you doing is something stupid. And most men, especially men with weak bodies, are a lot weaker mentally than you would believe. Not everybody's like me and Tristan. Not everybody can go to a dungeon solitary and sit there. Most people can't handle the small problems in life. So I'm extending an olive branch to this guy. I don't like bullying. I don't like what they've done to him. But as a professional, I can analyze the situation and understand very much why it happened. And I can understand very much that he brought it upon himself. But being the gracious man that I am, I'm still going to offer him an olive branch and try my very best to make him feel better about it all. There are two kinds of people in the world. People who learn from their own mistakes, which means they have to make a bunch of mistakes in their lives and then try and recover from them. And people who learn from other people's mistakes. They're the smarter ones. People who look at a situation and go, you know what? Isn't it ironic that this Neon ran his mouth about being a tough guy to Top G, and a week later this happened? Isn't that ironic? There's people who are smart enough to sit there and go, God doesn't like it when you talk shit and lie. And
I don't know if I told you this story in another stream, but I have a friend he was Gen X, and we used to get together, and we would drink. We'd get drunk, and so we'd be tipsy, and then sometimes we go for a ride, and we would do this. We would do this regularly, and then one day he decided, like, I it might have been the same night that I had been with him and I went home or something. He decided to go for a ride after, he was a little tipsy and he went for a ride, and the cops got him and they charged him with DUI and they put him in jail for the entire day. And the next time I heard from him, I was like, bro, I was trying to call you. I couldn't reach you. He was like, they put me in jail. I got caught. I got caught for DUI. They put me in jail. And he was laughing. And he described jail to me and how terrible jail was. And the crazy people, like, we were professionals. Like, we were in, like back at that time of my life, I was working in information technology. We were both working in IT. Like, we were like, I don't want to say Poindexters, but, like, we were professionals. And he was in jail, bro. He was in jail. And after he described jail to me, I was like, forget about drinking and driving. I stopped drinking. He stopped drinking. We both stopped drinking after he went to jail and got a DUI, and he described jail to me. All right? Both of us stopped drinking. That was the end of that. We didn't stop drinking and driving. We stopped drinking. We stopped drinking. All right? I learned from him, and he learned his lesson. We both learned our lesson through him. Jail is not a place you want to be. Jail is a terrible place. And it's like these young people just can't comprehend. They can't learn from other people's mistakes. They see someone go over a cliff, they're like, all right, well, I guess it's my turn now. Let's go ahead and see how that works out. Delec 2150 says you'll get crabs in jail. It's not this is crazy.
Learn from other people's mistakes so they don't have to ever go through the same scenario. For everyone at home, I hope you're the second. I hope you're the latter of the two choices, because if you're the first, you're going to end up like him. And I also hope everybody at home understands that the internet is great, but the world is real and people do exist. And you need to be very, very careful who you disrespect.
I'm telling y'all, this generation of these young people, they are out of their damn minds. They really don't know what the heck they are doing. Okay? Because if you mess around, then you're going to find out. If you mess around, then you are going to find out. It's crazy when you look at how these people, they seem to think they could do anything and say anything, and then all of a sudden things like this happen, and then they have to get corrected. And I just shake my head. I literally just shake my head. It's so crazy. Like this kid, that wasn't bullying. He got what was coming to him. He got corrected by the streets. His father didn't correct him, so the streets had to correct him. He had to learn on the streets. That's why I said Gen X. I love Gen X. Gen X never fucked with anyone. Never fucked with anyone. Gen X is my generation. Gen X is my generation. All right? I've come to appreciate Gen X. The older I get, the more I appreciate Gen X. Some of the greatest movies came out in Gen X. Pretty in Pink, Gen X. Okay? The Breakfast Club, Gen X. Heathers. Y'all remember Heathers? When Heathers with Christian Slater and Winona Ryder? When that came out, some people were like, oh, a lot of people say, like, oh, Heathers. Nobody cares about Heathers. Now everybody's like, oh my gosh, Heathers? That's a classic. Okay? So Gen X doesn't even know what I'm talking about. They don't even know what I'm talking about right now. Top Gun was made in like 1984 or something like that. I was born in like 1983. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, actually, Karate Kid was 1984. Guys, Karate Kid was 1984. Like, I'm telling y'all, Gen X is where it's at. Gen X is literally where it's at. All the great movies and all the great television shows. We're Gen X. The stuff that we're still watching today, Transformers, GI Joe, Thundercats, Thundercats. That was all Gen X. That was all Gen X. Some of y'all may not even realize this. Power Rangers is very much Gen X. Power Rangers was 1993. That's the early 90s. That's Gen X. Early 90s is Gen X. That was 1993. 1993 was when that came out. Okay? Gen Z is just Gen Zero. All these Gen Z guys, Gen Zero, man. You know, there's no essence to it. There's nothing in it. They have nothing inside. You know, they're just like an empty generation. They're a sad generation, and it's catching up to them. You know, their nonsense, the games that they play. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, like, they go out there and they think that it's a game. They think they can live this life, and then life catches up to them. You know, life, it gets real, and then like they don't know how to respond to things. They don't know how to deal with things. It's sad, but it's true. You know, it's absolutely sad, but it's true. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. Gen Z will not be allowed to take power. I guarantee you. So I literally had somebody say, "Oh, some nobody YouTuber who has no power is making this call." Like, yeah, who would say something like that? A Gen Zer. Like, these guys, I guarantee you, Gen Z will not be allowed to take power. It won't happen. Okay? Gen Z right now, they cannot join the military. Gen Z cannot join the military. Why is it that Gen Z cannot join the military? Because they're being found either physically unfit or mentally unfit to serve in the military. The military is missing all their targets right now with recruitment, and it's only getting worse. All right? It is only getting worse. They're missing all their targets with recruitment because they cannot recruit Gen Z, because Gen Z is either mentally, physically unfit to serve, or both. They're either mentally unfit, physically unfit, or both to serve in the military, to serve in the army. Guys, how many idiots went on to have successful careers in the military? I mean, like, people that you never thought would make it. That's where they ended up. In the military, in the army. Y'all remember In Living Color? Remember that song? Well, homie, don't play that. Get an ugly life and a messed up wife in the army. Y'all remember that? That was the army. They won't even take these people. They won't even take Gen Z if Gen Z cannot serve in the army. All right? And you've got people literally in the army with like bordering on that 85 IQ. And 85 is like, that's mental retardation IQ. And you've got people in there bordering on that IQ, and they have had successful military careers, very successful and very distinguished military careers. And Gen Z can't serve in the military, can't serve in the army. No. I told you. I've said it once, and I will say it again. Gen Z will not be allowed to take power. Okay? And personally, their generation, they're not even going to live as long as the other generations. With their levels of obesity and everything else, and a lot of them, they took that jab, so myocarditis is going to be a real thing with them. I mean, Gen X and older millennials are the ones who are going to run the world. That's really how it's going to be. It's going to be Gen X and older millennials running the world, and Gen Z is just going to fade away. All right? Because it's really only, don't forget, again, they say 15 years. If it's only 15 years, a lot of millennials and Gen Xers are going to outlive them anyway. A lot of the older millennials and Gen Xers are gonna outlive Gen Z anyway. All right, because a lot. I mean, if you look at how they're living and the lifestyles they're living, they're not gonna make it that far. They're not gonna make it that far. All right. Gen Zero is going to zero out. They're going to be zeroed out. They're going to X them out. They're not going to make it that far. They will never take power. Gen Zero will never take power. Okay? Just tell y'all right now. Lord Bison says, I'm retired U.S. Navy 21 years. All right, that's what's up. Dalek says, can't pass basic training. They can't even pass a mental examination. They can't pass a mental test. Basic training, they can't make it to basic training. They can't make it to basic training. They're right, basic training. They can't even get, they can get out, they can't even make it to the bus. Shoots. Lord Bison said shows like Starsky and Hutch, Sanford and Sons, The $6 Million Man, Knight Rider. Remember Knight Rider? With Kit. Oh my gosh, that's bro. They need to take that song. Somebody needs to take the Knight Rider theme song and remix that and make that into something. How insane would that be if they literally made that into a song? My gosh, like seriously, that was the jam, the Knight Rider theme song back in the day. We don't have anything like that anymore. We really don't. The $6 million Man. All right. I don't know. I'll be honest. I did not watch the show, but basically, the $6 Million Man was like, we have the technology to rebuild him, and he was like, I think he was like basically the Bionic Man, and he got into an accident or something like that, and they basically built him. And at the time, $6 million back in the 80s, that was a lot of money, and they basically rebuilt him into this amazing specimen. Man, they had shows back then, guys. The Incredible Hulk. Yo, the Incredible Hulk. They had the Incredible Hulk. They even had the Flash back then. Before the modern day, for the Flash of today, they had another version of the Flash. Oh my goodness, guys! Y'all remember Superman? Guys, do you remember the adventures of Superman and Lois back in the 90s? Oh my goodness! Oh gosh, y'all remember Darkwing Duck? Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, we call DW. Darkwing Duck. Oh, come on! All right. Y'all remember Rescue Rangers? Remember Rescue Rangers and Gargoyles? Man, these kids today don't have anything. I don't really like Bonkers. They had this one show called. Y'all remember Hysteria? Hysteria. At first, I didn't like Hysteria, but then Hysteria grew on me. Remember Hysteria? Remember Tiny Toon or Bags and Buster? How does it go? Like Tiny Toon Adventures? Oh, Bags and Buster Bunny. Oh goodness, I can't remember the name of this. I can't remember the full. And oh gosh, and then we had Ghostbuster the animated series, Batman the animated series. Man, Ghostbusters was lit. If y'all think the movie was good, the movies were in the 80s. And Ghostbusters, oh my gosh, the original Ghostbusters movie. That movie was a cinematic wonder. They don't make movies like that anymore. The original Ghostbusters was absolutely brilliant. Like, it was brilliant. Let me see what you have to say right here. Let's read that question. Doing what I need to says, what do you think it will go from millennial straight to Gen Alpha in 40 years? So you think Gen Alpha? No, it's not going to Gen Alpha. Like I said, Gen Alpha, they're going to be a generation where even Charles Manson would sit down and talk to. I'm convinced that Gen Alpha is going to be just frightening. I can't say it on stream, but they're going to be basically like little Charles Mansons walking the streets. After the events of 2020 and what they've grown up in, you can't even blame them for what they're going to be. They're going to be a frightening generation. There will be some decent people among Gen Alpha, but no, Gen Alpha, just like their older counterparts, Gen Z, no, they won't be allowed to take power either. Like I mean, like really, we might have to leave artificial intelligence behind that will kind of like almost like synthesize the personalities of prior generations, and then these generations going forward will have their AI overlords ruling over them and telling them what to do and how to live. That seems like where things are probably going to be headed, because yeah, these won't be functional people. Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, because Gen Alpha, if you think about it carefully, the Gen Z years ended in 2012. They ended in 20 Gen Z years ended in 2012. And so if you think about it very, very carefully, then that would basically mean that Generation Alpha years, I guess that means that they would end sometime around like 2028. So that's a it's a hard one right there, because they say a generation is 15 years. So 2013, so Gen Alpha years are 2013 to 2028. So in 5 years, Generation Alpha, like pretty much all of them will have been born. And it's not going to be cute. These guys are messed up. These guys are definitely messed up in their heads. It's not going to be funny. Let me read some more of these comments. Simon Lewis says Gen Z should not take power at all, and I'm Gen Z. We're coddled, weak, and lack common sense. Guys, I told you Gen Z knows something is wrong with Gen Z. Gen Z knows something is wrong with guys, look at it. Look. Gen Z should not take power at all, and I'm Gen Z. We're coddled, weak, and lack common sense. Guys, Gen Z knows. The kids know. They know something's wrong with them. If you ask, guys, I've literally had some Gen Zers like that have read some of my posts that they're like, Gen Z is like, Gen Z, they're a bunch of pieces of shit. Like you can't, like, these guys, they're not ready for the world. And someone else, they'll pop up and say, I read what you said, and at first I got upset, and then I was like, I thought about it. It's like, nah, you're right. Nah, we can't, we don't have we don't have this. We don't have this. Nah, you're absolutely right. We can't run anything. It's best not to leave things to us. They know. They don't trust each other. This is another thing. Gen Z doesn't really like one another. Like, they'll kind of work together sometimes, but they don't really like one another. In fact, they're like they're like cats. Like, they're really standoffish. They're like, meow. They see each other like, meow, meow, and then they get worn out. They get like, they can't even be bothered. They can't even be bothered to keep on screeching at each other. They eventually just get pissed off and like just walk away. Like they get burnt out. They get burnt out challenging one another. All right, go find a place to lay down. Like, Gen Z, my gosh. Yeah, and Lord Bison. It's like, thank you for your service. I feel like crap saying thank you for your service, because it's like, really, everyone says thank you for your service, when in reality, no one really. It's like it sucks. No one really cares. Everyone's like, thank you for your service, but no one really gives a damn, because if you look at how we treat our veterans like crap. And it's honest and true. And I say thank you for your service, but I know I'm full of crap too, because honestly, none of us really treat our veterans are not getting what they should get. Delect 2150 says they make good cannon fodder for Biden. Nah, bro. Look at this Gen Zer who ran across to North Korea. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? You really want to put a firearm in the hands of a Gen Zer? Y'all ever heard of friendly fire? You can't have these liabilities out there. Y'all think, oh, they're just going to be cannon fathers. It's that simple. They become liabilities. They are liabilities. All right? It's not that simple. Think that you're just going to have them out there using them like human shields. No, it's not that simple. All right? Unless you're giving them unloaded guns, then you better not have them out there. And these are the kind of people that will turn on you and go join the enemy. That Gen Zer, that guy who ran across to North Korea, that's a traitor. He's a defector. He made a conscious decision to flee into North Korea. He is a defector. All right? This is Gen Z. A Gen Zer defected to North Korea. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. Terrible, terrible. Listen to me. I'm telling y'all. Terrible generation. Horrible generation. Worst generation. Calvin says basic training was the most fun. Yeah, Gen Z couldn't handle. They wouldn't make it there. They wouldn't even. They can't make it to. They can't even make it there. I love this comment. I can't read this comment, but y'all can read this comment. And I love this comment because it's absolutely true. Netflix is absolute crap right now. That's all you have on Netflix. Hey, rainbow flag here. Mm-mm. Yo, Lord Bison. Lord Bison, I love this point. He said this. He said Star Wars were 1977. The Superman movie was 1978. I don't know if that's the one that Richard Pryor was in. Oh my gosh. Y'all remember the original Superman movies with Christopher Reeve? Those are such classics. Oh my goodness. The Superman movies with Christopher Reeve were so lit. We don't have anything like that anymore. And Star Wars, the original Star Wars. Oh my goodness. Say it. Saying Mick says, I effed with gargoyles and Darkwing Duck. I'm telling y'all. I remember we had Aladdin the animated series too. Oh my goodness, we had some shows back then. Remember VR Troopers? We are VR. We are VR. Oh my goodness, like then we had some shows. We had some lit stuff back then. Ooh, Lord Bison with Terminator. Oh, dun dun dun. Guys, you remember how lit Terminator 2 was? Remember that cop? Oh my goodness. Remember the metal cop that he could turn into liquid metal? Bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Remember, and Sarah O'Connor? She was such a badass. My God, remember these guys them doing the whole motorcycle thing where they're riding on the motorcycles? My gosh, that was absolutely insane. Beverly Hill Cop, Billy Jack, Enter the Dragon. My gosh. I'm telling you. Delek says before movies became woke. It's so true. Like the real Ghostbusters, not one with the gorilla. Oh my gosh. My gosh, the real Ghostbusters. When did that come out? The real Ghostbusters. That was a lot. I didn't really like the real Ghostbusters a ton. That was actually when the Ghostbusters had got old, and that was like 20 years ago or something. Oh no! Oh yeah, it was the real No, you're right. The real Ghostbusters. I love the real Ghostbusters. I'm thinking, oh, you're saying they're not the one with the gorilla. The one with the gorilla is the one I hated. Like that. I guess that's what you're talking about. Yeah, the real Ghostbusters was the one back in the 90s. That one came out in September 13th, 1986. I was born in 1983. Guys, these were all Gen X classics. Say Gen Z. These are all Gen X classics. All right. Oh my gosh, the real Ghostbusters. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Calvin says, damn, the last two generations are that messed up. Simon Lewis says, we're all going to hell. We know this. Dalek says, Dulvady is Gen Z. Oh gosh. Zenopal says there's nothing to eat in North Korea. Z, I would think you knew better than that. There's plenty to eat in North Korea. All right, they have there's tons of food all around North Korea. All right, there's tons and tons of you have to remember there's tons of food because there's tons of people. There's tons of food because there's tons of people, so they'll never actually go hungry. It's just not about you may not have a diverse choice of food, but there's plenty of food all around you. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. I told y'all laughter is good for the soul. Laughter is good for the soul. Oh boy. Calvin Rogers says, as veterans, you got the right. They give more to people crossing our border. It's messed up. Oh gosh. Oh, JLJ 504 HD says Richard Pryor was in Superman 4, Superman 3. Oh. Oh my goodness. Calvin Rogers talking about the original X-Men. You know they're coming out with X-Men 97, which is is basically like a continuation of the original X-Men show from the 90s. Remember that show? Da-da-da-da-na-na. Da-da-da-da-na-na. I just did a terrible butcher of it, but I loved X-Men from the 90s. X-Men from the 90s was absolutely lit. I mean, it was fire. It was fire. You guys remember Pinky and the Brain? They're Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. To prove their mousy worth, they'll overthrow the earth. They're Pinky, Pinky and the Brain, 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 Brain. Dun, dun, dun. Guys, you like seriously like they had so much creativity back in the old days, and you could even remember the catchy. You can remember even the catchy theme songs they had compared to the absolute garbage that they have now. Mm. Lord Bison says, I was stationed in Asia for 10 years. I also was stationed at 3 U.S. embassies in Asia. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Okay, she says 84, baby. What up, bro? What up? What up, Zenio? Honestly, I think Gen X should have ended at 1985. I really think Gen X goes up to like 1985 at least. This is like that's there's no way that there's no way like you like like even Zenio like nah like seriously because like don't even put me anywhere near with the millennials like older millennials no, like older millennials don't want to be associated with these other people with these other people. DuckTales. Guys, y'all remember DuckTales? JLJ points out DuckTales. Oh my gosh, how does DuckTales go? Woohoo. I'll be there and dun 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 in DuckTales. Woohoo. Tails are gathered. Oh gosh. DuckTales. Oh my goodness. I remember that. And y'all remember Tailspin? What's his name was like Baloo or something? Tailspin was lit. Oh my goodness, Tailspin. Dun dun dun, friends of dun. Oh my gosh, Tailspin was sick. And like, oh my goodness, and he could fly that plane. Oh my gosh, could he fly that plane? Tailspin. Guys, we're going back to the 90s right now. We're going back to the 90s right now. Oh my gosh. You remember Around the Twist? It was an Australian show. Have you ever been around the twist? When strange things happen and you're around the twist. And it's like rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Rain. Oh gosh, and then there was Goosebumps. Oh goodness. I'm like we're like reliving the 90s together. We are reliving the 90s together. I feel like I don't know, guys. Like I love doing the whole password bro thing. I do love doing the password bro thing, but honestly, I just like talking to other Gen Xers. Like this channel is like a Gen X channel. It is definitely most of the people on this channel are Gen X, and it's just like nice being able to just talk with other Gen Xers, and it's just nice. It's so nice because these days are so miserable. Oh my gosh. Doing what I need to says, remember MTV Real World? Guys, y'all remember Real World? Oh my gosh, Real World. Guys, before all Real World was so awesome. Like the garbage that we have today with these shows with Gen Z, like, hey bro, like listen, bro, that was my muffin, man. That was my muffin. And the other dude's like, I'm so sorry, bro. I didn't aim to meet your muffin. It's okay, bro. I just wanted you to know. Okay? Because we've been we're both victims of the patriarchy. Okay? We're both victims of the patriarchy. And we can smash it together, bro. I know, bro. Oh gosh. Hug. Hug, bro. Consensual hug. Consensual hug, bro. Okay. Okay. You want to go have sex now, bro? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's go, bro. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I'm telling y'all, Gen Z, Gen Zero, Gen Zero. Zenapal says heavy metal, the animated series, animated feature. Voltron! Oh my gosh, the adventures of Voltron. Oh my goodness. Do you guys know the story behind Voltron? Voltron was a Japanese anime that came over from Japan, and the guys who brought it over from Japan had no way of translating it. So instead of just scrapping the whole thing, they created entirely new characters, an entirely new storyline, brand new scripts, and dubbed over everything. And that's how we got Voltron. It's unbelievable, guys. Look, this is some insane stuff. Men can do amazing things. Like seriously, you end up with something that's completely unusable. Like this came over from Japan. You have no way of translating it. So what do? You create an entirely new storyline, dub the entire thing, new characters, new ideas, and and create something new. Like this is amazing. Like seriously, we had our childhood. We had so much. It's a lot of us had hardships when we were growing up as children, but then you look back at what we did have compared to what they have now, and it's such trash. Like even video games back in the 90s, like now a lot of games are no longer up to the standards. Oh, we got a comment from Delek 2150. Drop that 5. Thank you so much, brother. You said we had pages, Motorola brick, Casio. Guys, guys, y'all remember that? You remember the pagers back in the day when we had pagers? How lit pagers were? Oh my gosh. All right. Remember the Razor? Do you guys remember the Razor phone? The Razor was so sick. I love the Razor. And we had creative things like we had, what do you call those things? We had like the gigapads, like our little gigapads. Like you could literally walk around and you'd have a pet with you, and you could play with you could feed your pet and take care of your pet. It was crazy. Oh my gosh. It was absolutely insane. Like those were the days. Those were absolutely the days. I'm telling y'all. Carlito says pagers were fire. Oh my goodness. The Nokia. Oh my god. I had a Nokia. That was my favorite. Guys, you remember the old school Nokias? You could drop it on the ground and the phone would laugh at you. The phone would just look at you and laugh at you. Oh gosh. Delek says Biggie Smalls, baby. Remember that? Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, I could never picture this. Oh my gosh. We're like literally going back to the 90s right now. We're going back to the 90s right now. Oh, Chisock says Pogs. Y'all remember Pogs? I never played with Pogs, but I do know of Pogs. Oh, Lord Bison! Highlander in 1986 and Highlander, the series in 1992. Y'all, do y'all remember Highlander? Y'all remember Highlander? I don't even know if they can make a show like Highlander in today's day and age. Bro, they used to go around with swords. In Highlander, they would go. I didn't know Highlander was 1986. I had no idea the movie was 1986. Dude, these guys were immortals. Oh my gosh, they need to bring Highlander back and like not mess it up. You literally had these immortals that were around for centuries, and basically what would happen is they would die, and then they would discover that they couldn't stay dead, so they were actually immortals. And like they would literally go around hunting down other immortals and like just chopping their heads off, if I remember correctly, and taking their power. It was insane. Like Highlander was no joke. Highlander was no joke. Oh my goodness. Korup says there can be only one. Yo, oh my gosh, bro. That was so serious. There could be only one. Guys, we had some shows back then. Guys, you remember like Tomb Raider? Remember our video games? You remember Tomb Raider 2 with Lara Croft and she went up against dinosaurs? Y'all remember that? Like Tomb Raider 2, and you're like fighting dinosaurs with like these shotguns in a cave. My gosh, Final Fantasy VII was so lit. I love Final Fantasy VIII. I hated Final Fantasy IX, but like Final Fantasy VII was the game that introduced me to Final Fantasy games. I was like, what? I was like, where have you been my entire life? We had so many great games. We had Street Fighter. What else? We had Sonic. Instead of Sonic Adventure 2 was lit. I love Sonic Adventure 2. Man, Mario. I'm a Super Mario. I'm a Mario kid for life. Mario kid. NES was my first system, as it was for many of us. I loved it so much. Oh my goodness. You had it was like Double Dragon. You had Double Dragon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like, bro, the kid me, like the 8-year-old me, 9-year-old me could 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 play that game. I can't play that game anymore. Guys, you all remember how hard Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was? It is legendary how difficult that game is. I don't have the skills that 9-year-old me had back then, because that's all we had back then. So you had to learn. You had to learn. All right. That game was a mean-spirited game. And people, and like literally, like that was a badge of honor to get through Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh my goodness. The game. Corva says the first Tomb Raider movie was actually really good. You know what it is? I actually picked up like the bootleg, so I guess I didn't really see it. Didn't really get to enjoy it entirely. Y'all remember when we had bootleg DVDs? Oh my gosh, you remember we used to have bootlegs? That was so insane. You could go and get the bootleg. Chisock said if they did a Highlander, that would be woke as fuck. It's so true. It's so true that if they didn't like gender recast it. Oh my gosh, y'all remember Killer Instinct? JLJ with the hit. Killer Instinct, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. They're coming out with Mortal Kombat 1 now, which looks like fire. It's like basically taking it back to the beginning. Killer Instinct. Oh my goodness, Killer Instinct. Guys, those games were so insane. You could like transform into like werewolves and stuff. Oh my goodness. And you had Twisted Metal. Now they're coming out with the Twisted Metal TV show, but you had the Twisted Metal video games. I don't know if y'all ever played Jet Moto. I love Jet Moto. Jet Moto was so insane on PlayStation 1. Oh my goodness. I'm going back. We're going back. We're going back to the 90s, y'all. We're going back to the 90s. I used to go to the arcade. Delex says I spent so many quarters in video arcades then. Guys, you remember what it used to be like before? Like it was so much different, and you couldn't be a complete asshole in the arcade because, like, you could just get shunned. You literally had to, like, this is like the whole thing with Gen Z being total jerks. Like you'd go to the arcade and you'd have to wait your turn, and then you'd step up to the machine and you'd have to prove yourself, and everyone was like, "Yeah, good job. You have to prove you'd prove yourself." And oh my gosh, man, that was the real multiplayer. Now you're playing some cat over in Asia who does this professionally, and he's just recording the video game footage so he can get his bag. Like games aren't fun anymore. Multiplayer is not fun anymore. Like real multiplayer is when you could go to the arcades and you could really challenge yourself. My gosh, those were the days, bro. I miss those days. Corvus Glaive says, "Yup, bootleg Vietnamese DVDs of the Star Wars prequels trilogy." Oh, bro, guys, y'all remember Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? You remember back in the 90s when you could go and you could get like DVDs that were imported from over in Asia, imported from like China and Japan, and you would see, and the movies were fire. The movies were so fire. Delex says knockoff toys. JLJ says, Saber Wolf was my favorite Killer Instinct fighter. Oh my gosh. Corvus says Altered Beast. Altered Beast. Calvin says the Thundercats. Thundercats. Man, I'm telling you, those days were fire. I'm here having so much fun. Like bumping into my microphone because I've got the mic. I hope that didn't bother you guys. I might just like accidentally hit the mic because I've got the mic close to my face now. It's so cool having this mic Uh, just hit my glasses. Can you imagine? I have to wear glasses now. But yeah, but it's so cool having this new microphone, being able to have really good audio, and knowing that you guys can hear me well, and like it's fun. It's even more fun. It's so much more fun. It's so much more fun. What else is there? And then we have doing what I need to do. Doing what I need to do. There was no shortage. Oh my goodness. We jump to doing what I need to do. There was no shortage of ass for for the average dude before 2008. It's so true, guys. Back in those days, if you had just the balls to go and talk to a girl, you got a girl. Because most guys were shy. Most guys didn't have the balls to talk to most girls. So all you had to do was just go talk to a girl, and you would get a girl, and get a really pretty girl too. And girls back then were so much different. Like they dressed better. Like they didn't dress like this. Like they didn't dress so promiscuous, and like the way that women dress today is kind of gross. Like back before the era of like back in the 90s, even it was better. I'm just telling y'all, it's just like gotten so terrible, bro. Bro, Chisox says, Chisox fan for life says, place your quarters on the machine to claim next. Next, bro. My gosh, I'm telling y'all. Calvin says, "Welcome to middle age, guys." Calvin's like, "This is middle guys." Gen Z is whack. Gen Z is whack. They're losers. They're not fun. They they're not cool. Gen Z is so uncool. They're like so lame. It's so crazy. Like it's crazy. Like Gen Z is so lame. Like they're getting schooled, constantly getting schooled by like older generations. Like they think they're gonna come in and they're gonna and the crazy thing with Gen Z is they think that they think they're chill. They get burnt out over the simplest thing, and they think that they're super chill. They're like, oh, we're so chill. No, y'all so lame. Y'all are so lame. Because like if you don't notice, like all the things that we loved growing up, those are the things that are making like that the entire industry is still growing off. Like all the nostalgia. Because all the new IPs, a lot of the new IPs are just trash. Like they're literal garbage. Like hot garbage. Like even some of the newer IPs that do catch on, you think that they're new. These are stuff that came out like 20 years ago, but they're just being made into like movies and television shows now. Like the like new like IPs that are like being made today, they're just like garbage. They're straight up garbage. You know? They're straight up garbage. There's very few things that are original, that are actually original and coming out right now that people are actually interested in. Very, very few things. I think that Cyberpunk anime was one of the best things I've ever seen on Netflix. I don't know if you saw that out, but there was a Cyberpunk anime. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. But aside from things like that, most stuff sucks today. You know, JLJ says I'm a Gen Xer. Of course you could tell. Of course you could tell. Simon Lewis says, shout out to my dad for putting me on to He-Man, Hong Kong Fooey, the Jetsons. Y'all remember the Jetsons? Oh my gosh. Remember Rosie, their mechanical slave? Oh my gosh. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Calvin says Space Ghost. Y'all remember Space Ghost? Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Space Ghost was lit. Space Ghost was the shit. Oh my gosh. I remember Space Ghost. I love Space Ghost was so crazy. Guys, do y'all remember Centurions? Centurions was on Cartoon Network. Oh my gosh, I loved Centurions. Centurions was so lit. Oh my goodness, Hidden Temple. Y'all remember Hidden Temple on Nickelodeon? I don't know if y'all, for those of y'all that had cable, or at least for a little bit, Hidden Temple was so lit. Oh my goodness. And then there was Carmen Sandiego on PBS. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Stop. You remember, like, oh, you had this group called like Acapella. Oh my goodness. I can't remember all the words, but it was so good. Oh my gosh, I used to watch that. Chisok says Rocky and Bullwinkle. Rocky and Bullwinkle was so lit. Remember, guys, remember Star Trek The Next Generation? Star Trek The Next Generation. Guys, when Star Trek The Next Generation ended, I literally waited years for it to come back. I was literally like, oh my, okay, it's coming back. It's coming back. Star Trek The Next Generation is coming back. It hasn't gone away. I literally just sat there and said, okay, yeah, they'll be back. They'll be back. Even after the movies came out, I was like, okay, they'll get through the movies and then they'll bring back the series. Like Star Trek kind of just like ended for me with Star Trek Next Generation. I loved Star Trek Voyager. I thought Captain Janeway was awesome. I love Star Trek Voyager. It was amazing. It was a brilliant show. I loved every bit of it. But my gosh, Next Generation was the absolute best. It was the pinnacle of Star Trek. I love Next Generation. And Picard season 3, it wasn't, there were areas where it could have been better, but it was so good. See, the season 1 and 2 were hot ass. Season 2 were season 1 and 2 were hot ass. But season 3 of Picard, I mean, talk about sticking the fucking landing. It was brilliant. I loved it. I loved season 3 of Picard. For those of you that have not seen, if they have not seen Picard, just skip over seasons 1 and 2. Just read the synopsis for seasons 1 and 2, and then go and watch season 3. Do not watch seasons 1 and 2. All right, don't watch them. You will regret it. So don't watch them. You know, Wesley Crusher appears at the end of season 2, and just for like a little cameo, and that's about it. You don't really need to know anything else. Season 3 is where it's at. Season 3 is basically just think of season 3 as the entire series. Wesley appears at the end of season 2, does a little cameo and says, "Hey, I'm from the Watchers." So you know he's like still out there. Whatever that group was that he went off with, you know, that could like go through time and space. Aside from that, y'all don't need to worry about anything else. Oh, JLJ says, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I just never could get into Deep Space Nine. And a lot of people like Deep Space Nine. Maybe it's because I just never watched it from beginning to end. It just never resonated with me. Because I felt like I was one of those people who loved the adventure of traveling through space and having a series that took place entirely on a space station felt kind of, it just wasn't for me. It didn't resonate with me. I wanted that adventure. I wanted to continue traveling and seeing new worlds and boldly going where no man had gone before. That was the draw for me with Star Trek. You see here. Let's keep going. Oh my goodness. Jerry Ryan. Oh my gosh. 7 of 9. She Sox fans says 7 of 9. 7 of 9 was woo, and it's funny because 7 of 9 is she actually appears in Picard. She's a big part of Picard, and she's a pretty big part of season 3. Again, guys, if those of you that want to see more 7 of 9 that haven't not seen Picard yet, go and watch season 3 of Picard and just forget about season 1 and 2. Just read the synopsis and know that Wesley appears at the end of season 2, and just think of season 3 as the entire series. Corvus says, I boycotted Picard after 7 went after she started batting for the other team. You know, I was pissed off about that, but that's why I said do not watch seasons 1 and 2. And the thing about season 3 is that they don't really talk too much about her relationship with that other chick. Yeah, I mean, they kind of mess things up with that, but they don't really talk about it because they're like separated the entire time. So you don't even realize that they're in a relationship. You don't even like know they're in a relationship for the most part if you did not watch seasons 1 and 2. Calvin says that Deep Space Nine was all about new wars. I mean, I don't know. I call Deep Space Nine heartbreak. Oh my gosh, it's been so many years, guys. Do you remember when Doctor Who came back and how sick Doctor Who was? Oh my gosh, with David Tennant. David Tennant was like crazy. David Tennant literally brought sexy back because Doctor Who had died off, and David Tennant, this guy was he was powerful. Oh my gosh, his doctor was crazy. This guy was like pulling out swords and having sword fights while rocking a suit and some Oh my gosh. David Tennant's doctor was the absolute greatest. That was like 20 years ago, and then they destroyed Doctor Who afterwards. He literally brought Doctor Who back, and then he destroyed it. Peter Picaldi was, I think that's his name, was a good doctor. I think he was a good doctor as well as after David Tennant. I was not a big fan of Matt Smith, but I don't think he was the worst doctor. I don't think he was the worst. There were people who liked his doctor. I wasn't a big fan of his doctor. I like Peter Picaldi more. And again, David Tennant. But, pretty much everything after Picaldi was absolute crap. Was absolute crap. Absolute crap. Corvus says angry. Tennant was a gangster doctor. Guys, David Tennant was, bro, this guy was a badass. Like, he used to do crazy stuff. Like, he would leave people, he would, like, leave you in, like, another dimension if he felt like it. Like, he was the wildest doctor ever next to Picard. Like, he was wild. Like, this guy would do he'd do real shit. This guy was not, and of course, the doctor lies. Oh my goodness. David Tennant, he would rock out, man. This guy would rock out. This guy was not messing around. He was the greatest doctor ever. Let me see here. Guys, you all remember Star Search from the 90s? Y'all remember Star Search? How lit with Ed, what was his name? Who was the host of Star Search? Ed something? Star Search. I'm gonna look that up because I can't remember. Star Search used to be so lit, and you'd have the contest and everything. Oh my gosh. Guys, who was the Star Search? Yeah, David Tennant is coming back, but like it's kind of screwed up because like Ed McMahon. I thought it was Ed McMahon, but I was like, no, it couldn't have been Ed McMahon because the name McMahon reminds me of something else. It was Ed McMahon. Oh my gosh. Let me see here. Yeah, guys. I mean, man, we had some really awesome times back in the 90s and even the early 2000s. The social media really destroyed the world. The world was such a better place before social media. And it's crazy because like even in other countries, social media has not done the damage that it's done in the United States, which is pretty interesting. Because like you go to Africa and the damage from social media is just not there. You go to other countries, even in South America, and social media, the damage from social media just isn't there. It's just like Western countries, even in Japan, where they're very interconnected, and there's a lot of social media use over there. It's still not as bad as the United States. I'm not saying it's not there, but it's like the United States, like everybody lives on social media. Like everybody is in the American. I was going to mention that. Oh my gosh. Thank you for bringing that one. Thanks for bringing that one, Cheese Socks. American Gladiator. Y'all remember American Gladiator, how lit that was? And you had these big, bro, they weren't messing, those guys were not messing around. You wanted to go up against an American Gladiator, you better bring your A game. Guys, those gladiators were not going to let you win. They were not going to go easy on you. Like, you had to fight. You had to fight these gladiators. Like, they put in the work. Guys, they were not messing around. Like if you went up against a gladiator, you better bring your A game because they were gonna knock you down. They were gonna take you down. They were not playing around like, okay, we're gonna make it look good for the camera, and then I'm gonna jump on the mat. No, no, you better fight for your life. American Gladiator was fight for your life. Oh, you want this money? You want to get this bag? No, we're not gonna make it easy for you. We're here to get our money too. We are here to get our money too, all right? What do you think this is? You think you're going to come in here and have your way? American Gladiator was no joke. Oh my gosh, I loved American Gladiator. Oh my goodness. Let me see here. The Lex says that it's an orchestrated attack on our culture. It absolutely was. Oh shoot. Lord Bison says, I watched Deep Space Nine. It was garbage. So what? Cisco beat 3 Klingons. I just could never get into it. I hated it so much. I hated it so much. It's like Next Generation. You could just like pick up, you could watch like any, you didn't even have to watch the first episode of Next Generation to enjoy Next Generation. You could just watch any episode of Next Generation and you would literally be hooked because every episode was almost a self contained story. So you can jump in from anywhere and just kind of get like an idea of what the show was like, who Data was, who Geordi was, and who Worf was. All of these characters are interesting in their own way. They all had these incredible differences. Data, he had to, he couldn't see the way that we see. So he used these really cool visors that basically allowed him to see. I don't know if it was like it measured sounds or so, I forget how they worked, but it was so cool. You had Data, who was an android, and he was constantly trying to understand human emotion. And Data was so awesome in his own way, and he could be quite quirky. Absolutely loved Data. You had Picard, and Riker come number one. Oh my gosh, it was. You had Worf, who was like this big man child that could be so emotional, like all the time. Like it was. I loved it. Oh gosh, it was so good. It was so good. And then things just started to go downhill from there. Delec says Think 2000 Enterprise had a hot Vulcan. Yeah, that was the only thing that was interesting. I didn't like Enterprise. Enterprise wasn't a terrible show, but I think that it felt out of place, and it was like one of the first series to like they tried to connect with this generation of with this time frame, but like it was like the song that they used was like not right for it. It didn't like I've got faith in the heart, some nonsense. It was like terrible. It did not fit. It did not fit with like Star Trek, and it just felt out of place. There were some interesting things with Enterprise. It was not the worst of series. I just don't feel like it was executed very right. It was promoted in the right way. It was not a bad series. It's just, and then I feel like it was also kind of crappy in a way that they threw us back in the past. They threw us to like like we're used to getting a new iteration of Star Trek that continues, like goes on after Voyager, and instead of giving us the series after Voyager, they give us this crap that throws us like hundreds of years in the past, and we're supposed to just like this. Come on. Calvin says Worf was his guy. He was so awesome. Corva says that Voyager had the best aliens. Hey, everyone! Oh my gosh, I remember Voyager when they traveled back in time. They had this. They had this dude from the '90s. They had this dude from the '90s who had gotten his hands on technology from like the year 3000, and they were trying to mess. And like it was so freaking crazy. It was so crazy because they were trying to they were like, sir, you have technology that you don't understand. And this dude was literally like, wait a minute, you guys aren't from the year 3000. You're from what like the year 2400? Wait, I'm ahead. I have technology ahead of you guys. This guy, so literally like downloaded, like got like 63% of their database, almost knocked them out of the sky. Oh my God. Voyager was insanity. Voyager was insanity. Let me see here. Boy, I tell you, the '90s were something else. They were absolutely insane. They were absolutely insane. Those were the days, when men were men. Guys, you remember that? Remember that? Where did that come from? Where did that even come from? I'm trying to remember. Was it All in the Family? How does the song for I remember when men were men, and something like President Hoover again. Oh gosh, I remember that. I remember that song, and I remember when his wife passed away. Oh, that was such a we had such interesting series. What's his name? Alf? Was it Alf? Or like who was an alien? There was some. Oh my goodness, Xena Warrior Princess. Chiox says Xena. You gonna keep what? You want to keep me on here forever? Xena Warrior Princess was so lit. I loved Xena Warrior Princess. That was such a great show. And that was like a spin-off from Hercules, which was another great show. But I liked Xena even more. But Hercules was great. Y'all remember Yolis? Remember my dude Yolis? He was short, but he didn't have superpowers, but he could really fight. I loved Yolis. Yolis was sick. Yeah, that was All in the Family. Archie Bunker, I think that was his name. Oh my gosh, we had actors, man. Back in the day, we had real actors, not like these, not like these terrible people. I thought Maria Sirtis was hot. Is that Bologna? Is that the chick that played not Bologna Tars? That was Bologna Tars was from Voyager. I think you're talking about the Troy. Deona Troy. So I can't remember her name. Oh my gosh, and I loved her so much. And she was actually in Picard season 3. I think she showed up in season 1 also for just a little bit with Riker. Season 3 was so good. It was so good. It's like it was almost like all like you're forgiven. Yeah, counselor in the Next Generation. Yeah, Troy. Yeah, Deanna Troy. I think her name was Deanna Troy. Miss. She was hot, and Miss Telepath. Bro, she sucks since All in the Family would be canceled now. Lol. It's so true. That show would never. That show would never. I know when I say never, ever make it today. They would never allow that show on because everybody's too soft today. All right, the younger millennials and Gen Z would literally be crying and then demanding compensation. Oh my gosh. To give the babies their bottles. Like seriously, colleges are now basically adult daycares for the mentally challenged. All right. Anyway, guys, I'm telling y'all, it's insane. Things have changed so much over the years. Hey everyone, I appreciate your support and feedback. If you want to show your gratitude, you can use the super thanks feature to tip me any amount you like. You'll also get a special comment that I can see and reply to. Or you can become a channel member using the join button and get exclusive perks like badges, emojis, live chats, and more. Your support helps me make more videos for you. So thank you and stay tuned for more. Yeah, guys, I mean, like things used to be so crazy. It used to be so interesting, the things that we had. And now, Happy Days. Y'all remember Happy Days? Mondays, Tuesday, Happy Days, Wednesday, Thursday, Happy Days, Friday, Saturday, Happy Days. It was so awesome. Oh my gosh. It's like even shows that were old were good. Wonder Years. Oh my goodness. Y'all remember Wonder Years and Winnie Cooper? And we were all routing for Kevin, like, Kevin, you can do it. And then after Wonder Years, can you imagine? We got Wonder Years, which was one of the greatest coming of age stories. And then we get Boy Meets World, literally starring the brother of the guy from Wonder Years, who ends up giving us Boy Meets World, which was also one of the greatest coming of age stories ever. It's so insane. It is so insane. Like I've never even thought about it like that, And Topanga was hot. Like Topanga was insane. She had this exotic look. Y'all remember Topanga? We need a song about Topanga, okay? Because back in the 90s, it was all about Topanga. It was all about Topanga. Everybody loved Topanga. Oh my goodness. Guys, remember Urkel? Remember the Urkel? Oh my goodness, Family Matters. Do the Urkel. Do the Urkel. Do the Urkel. Do the Urkel. Do it. Do it. Everybody. Do the Urkel now. Do the Urkel. Do the Urkel. Guys, you remember the Urkel? My gosh. With Jaleel White? That was absolute fire. Like we had the creativity back then, and now everybody's trying to get their bag, so we can't even have shows like that anymore. Used to have shows that had like 28, 25 episodes a season. Now we're lucky if we get even 10 episodes, and we have to like pay these terrible streaming services just to get access to them. Like things are never going back to the way they were. They're just not. They're never going back. Oh gosh, y'all remember the Cosby Show? Santa Paul says the Cosby Show. Guys, remember those insane openings from the Cosby Show? The openings on the Cosby Show were insane. They are classics. They were amazing. Like they were absolutely amazing. The openings were insanity. Like they were crazy. He did the best openings. The Cosby Show was such a great show. It was such a great show. Oh, Chief. Oh, guys, Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell. Chisak says Topanga and Kelly from Bayside High. Guys, y'all remember Kelly? Y'all remember how crazy Kelly was? Oh my gosh, everybody wanted to date Kelly. I forgot about how pretty Tiffany and Amber Thiessen used to be back in those days. Kelly was insane. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. It was all about Kelly. It was all about Kelly. Oh gosh. I'm telling y'all, man, the world is so miserable now. It's so sad. Gen Z sucks. Like Gen Z, y'all are so Gen Z is such a terrible generation. It's like I don't and like Gen Z, you guys, those of you listening to my content, you already know. It's like if you're listening to my content, if you're smart, you're trying to what's really sad? I've got some Gen Zers who listen to my content and they'll just straight up tell me they're like their plan Z, they're doing nothing with their lives. It's like I feel like I can't. It's like I try to encourage them, and they just like straight up tell me, "Nah, bro, you're right about us. I'm doing nothing with my life. I'm going nowhere in life. I have no money. I have no job. I have no education. I'm living with my parents. I have no girlfriend. I will never get a girlfriend. I'm the kind of guy that girls stay away from." Bro, Gen Z, Gen Z. Like literally, this lady left a comment on one of my videos and she said, on one of my polls, and she basically mentioned Gen Z and she's like, she has a Gen Z nephew. And she said that this guy has no job, no girlfriend, never graduated from high school, lives with his parents, and like a bunch of other things. And she said, I don't know what he's doing all day. And I basically responded. I said, "Oh, you know exactly what he's doing all day, all right?" And I basically, like left a bunch of emoticons of him sleeping, playing video games, lotion, tissue, and a bikini. So y'all get what I'm saying, all right? He's definitely on the hub. This guy is sleeping, playing video games, and watching the hub. All right, that's what he's doing all day: sleeping, playing video games, and watching the hub. Mm. Oh, y'all remember Pamela Anderson from Baywatch back when Pam was actually so attractive? Guys, y'all remember Martin? Martin was lit. Martin was so awesome. I used to love Martin. Martin was funny. Zenipal says Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett. My gosh, Farrah Fawcett was so sick. In Living Color, Pamela Anderson. Who else? I was more into Linda Carter. Guys, y'all know y'all remember Linda Carter? Linda Carter was she? I think was she the original Wonder Woman? I think Linda Carter was the original Wonder Woman, right? And she was absolutely gorgeous. She was absolutely gorgeous. She's 72 years old now. But she was the original Wonder Woman, and a lot of people were like, "Wow," were like, "Absolutely wow." Someone said Pam Grier, yeah, back when she was Elvira. Oh my gosh, y'all! Oh my gosh, Elvira was so pretty. Y'all remember Elvira? Oh my gosh. You know what I used to hate, but I didn't hate it entirely? Gremlins. Y'all remember Gremlins? I didn't love Gremlins, but it was just too strange for me. But it was crazy. It was freaky. Y'all remember Tales from the Crypt? That stuff Tales from the Crypt used to scare the living crap out of me. Like I used to literally shiver because there was some crazy stuff in Tales from the Crypt. Zenipal says Wonder Woman was hot. Yeah, Linda Carter was absolutely gorgeous. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh, I'm telling y'all, those were some crazy times. The 90s, man. Had famous guest stars. It was crazy. Like we had some good times back then compared to the shitty times that we have right now. That's why I love my Nintendo Switch so much, because I can play some of my old classics, and they're doing like a lot of remakes. Like Mario RPG is a game I absolutely love, and they're making a new version of that. I'm so grateful for that. Well, it's basically, I don't know if it's a remake or it is a remake. It's not a remaster. It's a straight up remake, and They're coming out with that, and then they're bringing out the original Luigi's Mansion. And Luigi's Mansion 3 was great, but but I love the original, so I might jump back into the original. I don't know if they're going to charge. They'll probably charge $60 for it, and I'll probably pick it up, even though I know I shouldn't. But at the end of the day, that's kind of how they are. Like, you know, and they don't lower the prices for their games. Like the original Legend of Zelda, like Legend, like what do you call it? Like Breath of the Wild is still $60, and you know, even when Nintendo Switch Pro comes out, it's still going to be $60. The only thing is that the newer games are going to be 70. That's really how it is. Well, guys, I mean, what do you guys think about all of this? Better realizing that walking away just makes more sense. What do you guys think about this? Did you enjoy the stream? Do you want to see more streams like this? Do you want to continue doing more evening streams? Let me know what you guys think in the comment. This was so much fun. I love just chilling with Gen X. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away. And cheers.